her plans from Soweto to Lagos, Nairobi to the Cape. She's rewriting the stories they said she couldn't shape. Mom's rising in Africa.
This is Lerato Sithole. I am back again for another conversation with greatness. I am your host, and as you know, our channel is in conversation with greatness. I always start with this question that says, what makes the great great? Is it just a moment? Is it just an event? Or is it a moment that everyone remembers? Many a times we are drawn to the finish line, we are drawn to the awards, the medals. It almost limits greatness to that winning point or that finish line. But greatness is not a moment. It is a decision that great people make over and over again, long after the applause, long after the congratulatory messages, but it is the days lived when no one is watching. It also involves the refusal to accept any limitations, where one has to actually make the choice and decide that I am not accepting this. Not because it's easy to do that, but because it's a decision that great people make. And this sometimes is a choice that you make every morning to do the most difficult thing with everything that is in you, and sometimes with limitations that are in you. And these are the moments that happen off camera, behind the scenes, in the quiet times, when the battle is only in the mind and the battle has to be fought by that great person, all by themselves. And today I have the greatness of greatness. I always say that because we keep on elevating our levels. I have today Pieter du Preez. I must say it right. Pieter du Preez.
It sounds good.
And it sounds good, right? As we know him as Superbit. And he's known for the achievements that he's had. But in this journey, as you always know, we really want to know the details of what makes him so great. And I know that each time I say this, my great people always want to say, but I'm not that great. But I am. So I want to cancel that response immediately, because we've already said we've seen greatness. At least I have seen greatness in you. And I know that as we continue with this conversation, all those that will be listening to our conversation will see that. We talk of journeys of transformation, journeys of growth, journeys that take us to a point where we have to sit back and make a change. I want to welcome you today in this conversation with her.
Thanks. I'm humbled by that greatness. Great. I'm so great. And as much as you say you want to cancel what I say, I think it's very important just to put it out there that I honestly, I mean, you talk about people define the greatness as that medal that you win, but it's actually what happens behind the scenes. But I think that's the whole point.
Yes.
You say I'm great because I've won these medals and what I've done behind the scenes, but I think there's other people that do great things.
Yes.
And it's never even known how great they are.
No,
So I just want to make sure that everybody understands that I'm not really that great. It's just maybe the media has made what I do great. There's many other people that should have been made great just because of what they've done. I'm just living my life and hopefully living it to the full, and it's the impact that we all have the power to do. I think that's it.
And I'll get onto that and saying where you said you living your life and it makes impact. For me, therein lies that greatness, that impact. And yes, lots of people have made big difference. And as you say, their stories are not told enough. And I hope that in this channel and in the work that I do, I'll get to tell many of those stories. But I also feel that your story has not been told in the depth that it deserves. And we'll let our listeners pull their greatness in the way that that it speaks to them and the season that they're at. So as we begin, I first want to say thank you very much for affording us the time to spend with you, for taking the time to have this conversation with us. Your journey is a long one, and it's a journey that you have lived. One will find it difficult to know exactly where to start. I'm gonna do my best to start somewhere. I'm gonna do my best to start somewhere. The good thing is that we don't have to hurry up and finish. We just have to hurry up and get to the depth and get the story out there, get the message out there. Where I would like to kind of start is that defining moment in your life. What is that? When was that? Where is that? There could be a lot, but we're going to pick up the first one that comes to your mind that you won't have to overthink, because then that is the primary defining moment, and we can discover others as you go along.
Sure. Okay. You say the first one, I don't have to overthink. The problem is, I mean, we touched on this when you spoke previously. I think for me, there's already first ones that are all equal that I don't overthink, and they as they pop up,
Right.
depending on in what context.
Yeah.
I'm saying that defined. Maybe there's a defining moment in sport, and there's a couple of them. Defining moments. I want to say.
I want the life ones. I want the one I
define. They're all intertwined. So I'm just going to say they're all intertwined. So I don't want to say the first one is that
the primary. Okay,
that's the primary, but you know, like my mind works chronologically on numbers.
also.
So you know, for first, when you're 6 years old, you don't really even know what defining moment means.
You just have a moment.
But there's a moment. And for me, you know, when I tell my story, when I was 6 years old, from what I remember, I was 6 the first time I dreamt about winning a gold medal at the Olympic Games. So
it was
if they defining moment, some people would say, but that's not very defining, it's just a dream or a goal. But I do think that was an important, me defining moment of us. I already then that's the scene that I wanted to chase. And somehow at the belief that I want to win a gold medal, even though it was a childhood 6-year-old belief where you don't understand that, but that's honestly possible. But then you believe I'm going to go win a gold medal at the Olympic Games. So I would say that would be the first one. Yeah.
I'm loving that one. 6-year-old already, you don't see a bronze, you don't see a silver, you see a gold medal.
Do you want to win?
Exactly. Was there, maybe tell us a little bit about what surrounded you. Did you grow up in a sporty family? Were you already in sports at that time?
Yeah, well, I was 6, so sporty family. No, I don't want to say not really, but I mean, first of all, I'm the middle child of 3 brothers, so my older brother is only 2 years older than me.
Right.
And if you say sporty, I mean, times have changed, but back then, it's not like at 6 or at 8, it's your older brother, and then my younger brother is 4.5 years. Yeah, a bit younger than me. Yeah, I mean, at that point, what is he, like 2.5, you know? So, no, 1.5. But the point being, so I wouldn't say back then already, my family, we were also sporty. My parents, my dad was working corporate job. My mom, I mean, they played a bit of tennis, club tennis, but no, there was no real serious into sports. So no, I like, for me,
It just
I was running sprint.
Oh, you were already at 6?
At 6, yeah.
What time did you start school back then?
Yeah. So I mean, but I went to school. I was in grade 1 when I was 5.
Was it called grade 1 then?
Yeah, so grade 1.
Already? Oh, not
and-
standard or
No, so then it was grade 1, grade 2, and then standard 1.
oh, sure. Yes.
Yeah. So right now, grade 3 is standard
Yes,
1.
yes. Okay, we're not gonna do the grades because I'm gonna get
Yes,
Let's
I
talk
get
about
confused,
it
yeah.
as
But-
it related to our time. So
Yes.
grade 1, you were already running.
Yes.
Okay, and that was like a school
yeah,
thing.
school
As we all did
athletics.
sports at school.
Yes. So athletics and sprints, and I got into my school sprint team, and I was running sprints. So that's sort of where the dream started. I mean, eventually it went into long distance, distance running, middle distance. But then it was sprints. That's reason.
So what you're saying is really actually it interests me a lot. In the coaching that I do, I've got 3 levels. I call it the 3 Ds of success. The first part is discover your purpose in life. The second D is develop yourself for your purpose. The third D is deploy yourself to your purpose. So in the discover phase, I take my clients through a journey of remembering their purpose, because I don't think a purpose is built at our age. I won't say let's go and define or build what your purpose is. I believe a purpose was there when we were born, right? I believe that this feast that we have as on our first minute of being born is holding the purpose. I believe the cry is us screaming out that, hey, I have arrived, this is my purpose, this is the lane I'm going to walk in. And I usually take people all the way to whatever they can remember at whatever age as a child, because I believe that at that point there is no influence, no expectation. It's as pure as it comes. So for the fact that at 6 years old you already saw yourself winning a gold medal is a wow for me. Very, very exciting. That actually I think it really aligns. It's so interesting for me to find a live proof that actually that's where we start getting to know why we are, because a purpose is not like a vision, but it's a why am I, right? So that's why I was asking that, is it because there was something happening around you? And I mean, you're saying no. And I also did athletics at school because I had to, not that I enjoyed it, but I didn't dream of gold medals. I just like wanted to do this and get it over and done. I didn't like swimming, but I had to do swimming. Didn't dream of gold medals. So it shows the uniqueness of why we are.
I mean, honestly, to that point, I mean, that was 1986. I was born in 1980.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you think about it, then the apartheid years, no?
Yes.
And we were, I don't know if you call it banned, but.
Oh yeah,
the
it couldn't go.
You couldn't even compete.
Yeah. Yes.
So it's not like
the sections.
I mean, not that TV was already, back then TV just started necessarily, it wasn't a big thing in the country, but it's not like it was advertised or this late or. So all I'm saying is, your point, it was just, I don't know why, I maybe did see something, and then I knew about it, and then I just wanted to do that.
It
wasn't that commercial.
You were blessed to see why you were without struggling.
Yes. But I mean, obviously that also evolves, but I also want to say, it's funny to say the purpose isn't necessarily the gold medal. Your purpose in life is what happens on the journey to the gold medal then, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, obviously somehow that's what I wanted then, or.
Did you tell anybody? Did you tell your parents? Who did you tell about this gold medal at that age?
I'm pretty sure I would have told my parents that.
They don't recall.
I wanted the gold medal. I mean, my mom unfortunately has passed away. If you ask my dad, I don't know if you'll remember exactly that. But it's not like I kept that silent. Yes, I wanted to win a gold medal at the Olympics.
And at school they were very much ready as well.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I love.
Yeah.
I don't know if even when I eventually grew up in varsity, they were the conservative. You study, you go do your job, and so on, and then.
Yes.
So I think for them, it's not that they even believe that that would ever happen. For them, it's just like, it's good that kids have these father's dreams.
So when other kids were saying, when I grow up, I want to be a doctor. When I grow up, I want to be a lawyer. When I grow up, I want to be. You had, I am going to win a gold medal.
Yes, I mean, from a sporting perspective, yes. I wanted to be, a Volksbewaarder. What's that? Looking after the wildlife.
Or like
in sync
yeah,
with that. If you ask me career-wise,
yeah.
because back then, gold medals wasn't a sport, wasn't always a career, going
What's it called in Afrikaans?
a Volksbewaarder.
Volksbewaard. I'll look it up. Yeah.
It's
Find
like
it in English.
a game ranger.
Oh, yeah.
Similar
Alright.
to that kind.
Great. Yeah.
From a career perspective, but I mean
But the first thing was the gold medal.
gold medal.
And what then, at that time, did you then have your teachers encouraging you? What then was the journey on this?
Yeah, look, I mean, like I say, if you think about today's terms, I now have a 9-year-old kid. Like, I almost feel parents and teachers and sport becomes too big a thing at a too young age almost, where I feel they need to do diversified. So, many sports and only really specialize a little bit later than what currently is happening. I want to build. But for back then, yes, I mean, I had teachers. There were teachers that, it wasn't that coaches were already professional, but they were coaches for the middle distance. They were coaches for sprints. And that they would encourage you, if you enjoyed it, to participate. And they encouraged all the kids to participate. But obviously, I was pretty good. So they would see that and encourage you to do it more. But a lot less than the professional, already at 9-year-old that kids could already be today.
Yeah, no, today it's a different world altogether. And I think the recognition of the success in sports is different now than it was then.
Yes, absolutely.
So then how was your first win? When did you start seeing that dream, or even?
So, I mean, I was 6 and then it was sprints.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I would win. It's got, like I said, I went to school a year early. So in grade 1, I had compete against grade 1s. So then I wasn't winning the sprints yet. But I was coming like second, third in my grade. But then I started competing under, a year later in my own age category then.
Yes.
And then I still did okay in the sprints. I wouldn't win the competitions, but I would place, And it was always like, if I place today, can I get a chocolate if my parents are going to steal something? But it was really when I got to, I think it was standard 1, standard 2. So first we delivered newspapers. So my mom helped us with this read vigil.
Oh, you were delivering newspapers.
Delivering newspapers. So she'll drop me and my older brother off at 1-6. It was like we lived in Randburg. And it was called the Randburg Times. So it was the free newspaper that got delivered at each house. So we delivered that for money. And she got us into this.
So who paid you the
newspaper?
Or the
newspaper.
All right, sure.
But my mom got us the job, obviously. I mean, I was then, 8, and my brother is 10 at that point. My older brother. But she would drop us off at the corner of each street, and then we'd run down to the end of the street, up the block, and he'll do the other one parallel. Pick us up on that side and take us to the next one with the car, and then we had a bag delivered newspaper to each house. So that was a lot of running. And then I realized, okay, well, I'm getting fit distance running, this is wise. So in standard 1, standard 2, I think that's the first time we start running 1,200 meters. And there I started running that, and I just won.
You kept
goes by far.
Yeah.
So obviously there, and I started realizing this is my middle distance.
Yeah.
So there I started winning, and I mean, now I got good, and started training provincially in cross country and those kind of things. And it evolved.
At that age, from primary school, you already did provincials.
Yeah. Wow. So that's where it evolved for me, as So I'm going to show you, okay, there's some real potential.
So tell me, I want to get to, from the time that you dreamt about this, were you obsessed about this goal? And I'm not saying obsessed in a bad way, but is it something that you kept on each time you moved a milestone? Were you conscious and intentional in saying that this is a journey taking me to the gold medal?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you know, I don't think I would have, how can I say, it's not like everything I discussed, I would talk about my gold medal at the Olympics.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you ask the people that I know, in fact, I mean, like, it was a couple of years ago, one of our, Facebook, one of my, I would say, just school friends, they almost never speak to even, but they posted a photo, a rugby, we used to at school, every year at the end of the year, you take pictures of all the teams you played sports in.
Yes, yes.
So then there was a photo of a rugby team, of our rugby team. I can't remember which standard in primary school, but then I'm sitting in front because I was a small kid sitting in front, arms folded, but with my watch. No one else has a watch, but I already had my watch and the stopwatch. And I just remember looking at that in one of the comments, and say that one of the kids would say, "Now you see, you're already there at the stopwatch." The point is that if he comments stuff like that, everybody you speak to will know I dream about the Olympics. They'll know I always climb myself. They know it's always a thing about time, focus about running. So the point is, yes, I think, yes, I was always disciplined, focused, timing myself. Even on rugby photos, even on whatever football comment, there's a stopwatch when no one else has one.
So, I call that a burning desire. So, I mean, you said some people say it's a dream, some people say it's a goal and all of that, but I call it a burning desire. And that is like a very strong instinct of how your purpose takes shape. So for me, that dream and you kind of like pushing is that burning desire. And I'm saying that because it aligns with some of the principles that I push through when I do coaching. The burning desire is almost like that, like the burning engine that makes the train move. Those trains that used to be the coal fire trains and all of that. So it brings in the discipline. I mean, you said you're already timing yourself and all of that. So I don't think, even if you didn't say every day in your mind, the gold medal, but it because it was so burning within you, it kind of like pushed and disciplined everything that you did. And yeah, it
Well, I mean, what I can tell you is, like, I can't tell you, yes, I prayed every single day, since I was 6 years old about this specific thing. But, when you're a kid and that burning desire that you're talking about, or your passion, or whatever you want.
yes.
I mean, I can't say it happened every day, but if I have to try and remember, it would feel like I prayed to win the gold medal. That did not go to the Olympics, and winning gold.
Wow.
Almost every year.
Wow.
And then after that, I mean, as it evolved later in primary school, as how I say, my faith evolved.
So when did the praying start?
Well, also when I was 6. I mean,
Oh, no.
maybe I wouldn't have given, we all like really realize what, I'm Christian, what faith is, and give your heart to God.
Yeah.
At a certain point in your life, and everybody, when they really realize that, that there really is a God, and you're reborn, I always want to say, is at a different age or at different points in time, and it's different for everybody. So, I mean, when I was 6, I was only 14 when that happened for me. But obviously I was brought up Christian.
Yeah.
My parents prayer, we prayed, we read Bible, and we prayed every day or every night or whatever. I mean, I can't remember if it was every night or the morning.
So
or
you
whatever.
knew that God is
For me, for
is
God was
key.
the thing,
Yes.
God is key. So
yeah.
for me, even though I didn't experience, the spirit and all those kind of things at that age,
Yeah.
whether it was my parents that told me I need to pray every day, I was praying about winning a gold medal because
Yeah.
God sometimes answers your prayers. But back then, it's about I wanted to win the gold
God
medal.
always answers our prayers.
But I
We
mean,
sometimes don't hear Him, right?
yeah,
At
so
the-
it answers it in the way you want to answer it.
yes, yes.
But the point being, back then it wasn't I want the gold medal because that's going to change the world and that's how I'm going to impact people.
it was that. Yeah.
What I can tell you is you talk about that thing of purpose that, because for me it's absolutely part of how God then uses us in life.
Yes, absolutely.
And I just feel that eventually, I mean, when I was a kid, but that's why I just want to draw the parallel of now I'm grown up and I have given my heart to God and I was reborn. But I've always just felt that God is going to use me in sport.
Wow.
And that's where I feel
Wow.
the thing about, look, I love my parents. They gave me the tools in life.
Yes.
But like I said, for them, it was okay, they supported sport and everything. But it was like, it always that thing about when you finish your degree, then you go work.
Then you can
Then
do
this
the
whole sport thing is finished.
Yes, yes.
It's over. Now you work. Now it's the big adult life now, where I just felt, no,
This is
this is my thing where God is going to use me. My purpose is going to be sport. Obviously, when I was small, it was random,
yes.
but it evolves. I mean, we're going to obviously get to great by neck and all this kind of stuff.
So, oh my God, I'm already moved by what makes the great great, what makes you great. The foundation of faith, very important to me too. However, the fact that you started understanding the importance of God at the age of 6. So it wasn't like you dreamt about the gold medal and you started running and started participating in sport. But those milestones, you actually didn't want to do them alone, but you brought God in already,
But like I said, I just want to put it out there. When I was 6, it was, I'm going to say, a selfish dream.
Yeah,
God
I mean, like a 6-year-old.
It's like God must give me my toy. My toy was the gold medal. I didn't understand it, but it eventually, the wiring, then as you evolve, then you realize, but maybe it wasn't just my dream of that gold medal is my favorite toy. Maybe somehow that seed was planted in a way by God without me even knowing that was God giving me that. I don't know, but I'm just saying.
Well,
in the end, that's
God is using you in sport. For me, it's and first I must just say that I think you are one of the few blessed people who, from that age, started understanding and holding on to that desire, that burning desire of I want to win a gold medal, and understanding that God is going to use me through sport and continuing your life, because that's what we will get to speak about more as we continue with the conversations that we're going to have. I think that's being very blessed. I deal with a lot of clients, even myself included. I don't think it was very clear at that time, and you had that support. It's almost like you had that wanting that will refuse to die. It's the desire, that wanting that is so strong that it refuses to die. But I think there's a truth in what you say, that it was appointed like that and it came through like that, because a purpose for me is what and it's beyond the titles and the wins and the medals, but it's what gets us to press on even when everything else says you can't do it anymore. Through our purpose, we're able to go past our adversities, the challenges that we face in life. With purpose, there's no challenge that stops you from from leaving your purpose continuously. And knowing where we are now, although we are still talking about how it evolved, it looks like that purpose pushed through every adversity that came through. And that is what we're going to be understanding as we continue with the conversation on what makes the great great.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the important thing here for me is, like I say now, I don't want to jump the gun we don't want to lead the conversation here, but in this, I mean, we spoke about the many defining moments. So, I mean, there's many defining moments in my religion, defining moments in my sport, defining moments just in life in general.
Right.
But, then there's some movies you've watched that shaped some things that you sort of, that you just learned something from, that movie or whatever.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we used to watch movies before, like this peak competition in primary school and high school. This is not actually high school. I think it was standard 6.
Yes.
But there's a movie called Cool Runnings. It's like true story as well.
Okay.
Of a Olympic Jamaican bobsled. Bobsled is a winter sport. But anyway, the point is, in that movie, there's a saying, I mean, I've sort of adopted that as well, but if you're not enough without it, you'll never be enough with it. The guy said the gold medal is a wonderful thing.
Say it again.
The gold medal is a wonderful thing. That if you're not enough without it,
Yes.
you'll never be enough with it.
Oh,
But
if you're not enough without it, you'll never be enough with it.
But this is now the whole thing about purpose. And, what you're talking about, my gold medal, like I say, that's the selfish thing, the dream that you're chasing,
Yeah.
the purpose.
I
But the
think
point is,
yes.
that is the target that you chase.
But the journey.
But you talk about all these things as your journey, purpose, and God. But now God planted that seed, but I never have to get the gold medal to, I want to say, live the purpose that God has had for me in life. The gold medal would be the cherry on top. The people will now know, and some might not, but that I ended up getting that gold medal this way.
Yes. I fully.
But it doesn't matter
Yeah.
whether I got that gold medal.
Yes.
That was just the target, the seed that was planted.
Yes.
And we don't have to get that gold medal in the end. But because you should be enough without it. That's the only way I believe that you are enough without it. The people say, but how do you then know you're enough? You know you're enough if you live the purposeful life. If you get like those impacts
Absolutely.
on that journey, that's how you are enough.
And I think for me, it's what you said and saying you got to a point to understand that God is going to use you through sport. The medal is incidentally comes with the package if it does come. What you just said, if you've got to live, I want to try and say that again, got to be enough without it in order.
Yeah, you won't be enough.
Or you won't be.
Enough with it.
Yes.
If you're not already enough without
it. Because it's not what fulfills you. It is an outcome of you living a fulfilled life.
Yeah, and I think it basically comes down, people talk about the journey. It's all about the climb, not reaching the top.
Yes.
The climb. But the point is, there's a bunch of different sayings, but it all comes down to the same point.
Same point, right. Let's go back to now you are in primary school towards high school. You're now playing provincials. Are you running provincials? What sports are you?
So I've always learned everything. I mean, that's why I say time has changed.
Right.
But I mean, there are certain sports that I enjoyed more than others.
Yeah. Which ones?
Felt more.
Yeah.
But obviously running was my main thing. But I mean, I played rugby, I played cricket, I played tennis. I mean, eventually I did swim a little bit, but for the school and stuff. But provincially, it was running, cross country, athletics, and biathlon.
Yeah.
And then obviously when I got out of school, I ended up provincially and for South Africa and triathlon. This way my real passion ended up in was triathlon. And before actually that's what I wanted to go to the Olympics. And was with triathlon. So, but it all comes from the running.
The running. So you will in between. I'm going to ask you to educate educate us a bit about this sport, because me not being a sports person, once it's no longer running or straightforward like this, you'll then have to. But we'll get to that as you. If whatever I don't understand, I will ask for explanation, because then my fellow non-sporty people will also be assisted in that. So high school, how was your journey then? From primary, you were very participating. You were now chosen to represent the school provincially and probably nationally. So how, just give us more about that journey around that.
So back then, I mean, there was essays, but yeah, you know that so I didn't ever make an essay team while I was still at school. That only happened after school. But provincially, yeah, over the years, I mean, I competed provincially, went to national champs and those kind of things with the various, you know, between cross country and athletics and biathlon, specifically at that point in time. Biathlon more like from standard time retreat.
So what is biathlon?
Biathlon is swimming and run.
So you're swimming or you're running?
Yeah, so it's like a 100-meter sprint swim in the pool and a 2,000 run on the track. And then those two, you get, depending on your speed, you get certain points, and then the points of the two makes you the winner.
Okay.
From the. But anyway, that's sort of a touch of multi-sport. But I did some, back then it was energy triathlons, which is swimming, cycling, running. But then it's like you swim in a dam, 750 meters, and then you bike 20 Ks, and then you run 5 Ks off the bike.
Okay, so the biathlon was swimming and running, and now this one is
swimming, cycling, and running. And that's continuous.
It's also called,
that's tri, not three checks, you know. So, so that's multi-sports, you know.
Yeah.
And that's eventually where my true love went into. But it's almost like the seed was planted at school.
Yes.
For rock was coming late.
Yeah.
But the vanilla flavored standard school sports was running, long distance, athletics, cross country.
Yes.
And obviously then standard swimming in a pool and rugby and cricket and tennis and those kind of things. You know,
so I did say that if I combine the burning desire and the purpose, I said that it's one thing that withstands any adversity, any failure, any challenge. In those times when you were evolving from swimming, from biathlon, triathlon, and getting to win, did you have to face any challenges that you needed to push through and still press on to this desire?
Yeah, look, so first of all, I just want to mention, just for if there's kids or anybody, academics is always very important.
Yes.
And I did pretty well in academics as well, but I just want to say, so
no, it was not at the expense of.
Then I sang choir. I think the key thing my parents taught all of us is balance. To be honest.
Okay. So you did it all.
Yeah. So I did it all, but the sport was what I loved.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, but the other stuff was also
important, right?
Because I always like teach my own son now. You have to be very clever to be very good in sport. It doesn't necessarily mean that all sportsmen at 6'8" or anything.
Yes.
But all the great sportsmen, I promise you, they are intellectually very good.
Wow.
Because you have to be clever,
right,
to race well.
Okay.
Just putting it out there. But,
yes.
But yeah, so now you're asking about challenges. Look, so first of all, challenges, yes, you get injuries. I mean, I remember I had an injury in standard 7. Whether that was mentally or physically, or maybe a bit of mental, I was tired of the stress of always people expecting me to win. It's funny, already at that age, there's felt that pressure. It's like, now when I look back at my school sports, I'm like, I should have enjoyed it more. I just remember all the stress before a race and the relief, and then that I really want to race, but you wanted the accolade, you want that gold medal, but that stress before the race, it's like, but you did it all to yourself, you know. Now,
Was the expectation from you or expectations from people around you? Your
to be honest, there was obviously expectation from people around me, but I
was
think
was it
more
more
on my
on your side?
and I had to, like, back then also, sports psychology is a much bigger thing now than what was back then.
Yes.
But it's funny, like, it's not like my parents taught me. I didn't have these discussions with them about that psychological stuff.
Yes.
But anyway, so adversities was injuries. I did have that. I'd actually sat out that whole season, which was actually a great thing because then sitting watching others, I realized, but I want to do that. So whether it was the knee injury or whether it was a bit of both psychologically, I was tired, but having to then realize, but I really want to do that.
Yes.
So there was that. But I must say, during my school years, a lot of it just came natural and easy. It just happened, which is also a dangerous thing because it can just come by itself and then never really learn to work hard. But I think where for me the challenges came in back then was it was like the guys who did the sprints always got the
Craze.
like sportsman of the year, all that kind of stuff. And this middle distance running, you always like, I almost want to say, even you did just as well or even better sometimes, you would never win the award at the sports evening or whatever. Oh, yeah, through all those years. But I think in a funny way, that doesn't sound like this big challenge. But I feel that made me, it built character because you had to keep on fighting and keep on doing your thing, even though you weren't put in the spotlight. Others took the spotlight, deservedly in a certain way. So yes. But
So how does it give you courage if you know that you are not going to be the one that's announced up there?
For me, it was it once you much it puts fuel in the fire to work harder.
Okay.
Even though, like at the school competition, I won easily, and maybe the district competition you win easily. But it means you don't just get all the stuff and
Take it for granted.
you take it for granted.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Yes.
and I'm not saying those that do just get that stuff do take it for granted, but there is a risk that it can happen.
Yeah.
But for me, it makes you realize what you have to keep working in, and that you don't just always get everything. You have to work for it. But at the same time, having to do, I mean, even then I was delivering newspapers.
Oh, still.
I still, but then it was on my own on a bike, and it was a different newspaper. And I worked in a video store.
Okay.
And if I wanted the fanciest shoes to run in, then my parents would pay up to a certain point, and if I wanted the Nikes, then I have to pay the rest. So
Good for them.
I've got a job, and
Yes. I want to go back to something that you said around the expectations. So when you got there's an injury that you got, and it was almost like the pressure that comes with the expectation, whether it's expectation from yourself or from people around you. And then you touched on the sports psychology, which was not so popular at that time.
yeah, when it's so popular, I almost feel like it didn't exist.
It didn't exist, right? So maybe talk to us a bit, because that's the life that you lived. What in your thinking, in your mind, how did that expectation present itself and then put in a lot of pressure on you? I'm asking that question because I always, usually when I write, I would say, I've got a problem which I call going back to the future. And it's almost like, again, the same thing that takes you to the youngest age to remember what mattered to you at the time, what you would do without counting or worrying about what time it is. You just do just all by yourself and be so fulfilled. I then, in that, I say, we're going back to the place where you were yourself without any expectations, without any pressure exerted on you. So you were already living your purpose, and yet then there's expectation that's piling on that. Just
yes. So I was 6 and I want to win a gold medal. So the winning is, I'm overpowered. Or in every.
Okay.
So if I'm on holiday and I'm playing pool, I want to win the game.
All right. Okay.
I mean, if it's somehow nearly done. So I've always wanted, I've been very, my whole life, very with family. So, and I mean, it's a good thing, but it's a bad thing also.
Yeah.
Because then you, you would play Monopoly, and if you don't win, you'd be ticked off because you're not winning the game. So, but then later in your life, you learn that there's certain things you should chill about. If you don't learn that when you're a kid.
No, exactly.
But my point is, the expectation is, that's why I'm saying, obviously, if you start winning every competition, then the teachers, then your family, then your friends, everybody just expect you,
Yeah.
But that's not the pressure and why I didn't, it's my own pressure on myself.
It's a battlefield.
That was the biggest
Yeah.
pressure that I put on myself. But the key thing for me is I only late in life learned how that I should enjoy.
Yeah.
That pressure will always be there, but you should also enjoy the time and enjoy the races a bit more.
And have time to celebrate.
Yes, yeah. And back then,
Yes.
that part you don't always, you enjoyed afterwards, the medal and that stuff, but the amount of stress you created for yourself beforehand, that's just, I do remember, you say Back to the Future, whatever, I do remember that, yes, but the problem is, I don't think my teachers or my parents or anybody knew that's how, I mean, you wanted to throw up before because of all the stress.
Yeah.
And then the gun goes, and then you go, and I mean, so it's a learning curve. I mean, a lot of people go through those kind of things, but, or maybe not, I don't know. But, yeah, so that's how it was for me, that expectation. And I just think if I could go back and tell myself that, remember to enjoy this. So that's something I try and tell my kid, but even by telling him enjoy it, how does he enjoy it if he also feels the pressure? And we all just have different ways of dealing with pressure.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, back then, it's not like I say, my religion and faith and those things, it's a journey. All of
Yeah, no, absolutely.
and it evolves as you go. So,
Yeah.
So, and I'm not saying, but maybe that's just how it had to be for me back then. But I wish I could enjoy it.
So your advice to the others is, while you are doing what you do, be it a purpose, a drive, a desire, just enjoy it while you're at it.
Yes, and I mean, if that being said,
Relax a little bit.
if it is a purpose, then why shouldn't you enjoy it?
Yeah.
Because you're doing what you should.
Yes.
As you don't, I mean, back then you didn't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing, because it's all that balance of enjoying doesn't mean that it shouldn't matter.
It doesn't mean that there's no excellence that must come out of it. It does not mean that,
you should enjoy it.
Yeah.
That is excellent.
And how was your health? So if we look into your school years as now a sports person, yes, we have agreed that everything else is important. The academics are all okay. Everything else is balanced. Now, focusing on your health that has to support your sport life. How were you able to maintain it? And how was that presenting itself?
Yeah, health-wise, I mean, I think I'm blessed that I am a very healthy person. Genetically, I suppose that counts. But I was also blessed with parents that unknowingly probably also just, we ate. I mean, yes, again, it's for me a balance. I don't measure now the weight of how much food and carbs and this, that. But I think I was just brought up living a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
My parents both smoked for many years. Well, all my school years or so. That's maybe not that healthy, but I mean, I hated smoking.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a different story. Back then, it wasn't necessarily advertised as being that unhealthy or whatever, but health-wise, in general, we were just brought up living healthy in general. So I think that helped, that health-wise, that's good. I think mental health wasn't a thing back then, like I said, but I think that's where the balance comes in keeping it healthy. But yeah, so I think I was just blessed with
Yeah.
naturally health, but also lifestyle
That
that
supports
is
that.
healthy,
Yeah.
supports it,
Yeah.
you know, which played a role without, you know.
Yeah. With just because it was just the way of life and how that you had. You had mentioned to me in our off-camera conversation around at the age of 17, I think you said the eyes. Yes. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, so I mean, for me, again, you talked up defining moments. For me, that's a big defining moment in my life.
Right.
But in a weird way. But so we were born, me and my older brother, were born with a degenerative eye disease.
Eye disease.
Eye disease, yeah. So it's called choroideremia, which would eventually be
Say that slowly.
choroideremia. So the blood vessels in your eyes
Yeah.
are called choroids.
Right.
And it's called choroideremia
Okay.
because your retina dies. So it gets thinner and thinner. And then if like a optometrist or ophthalmologist that looks at your eyes with that light thing in your eye, when they then look at your eye, the back of your eye is your retina. But then normally you won't even see the blood vessels, the choroids in your eye. But if you have choroideremia, as your um, um, retina gets thinner, they can actually start seeing the choroids in the back of your eye. But anyway, that's where the name, that's where the name comes from.
Right.
But it essentially is your retina dying, and you sort of get tunnel vision. And so, I mean, like where I'm sitting now today at 46, I don't have central vision on my left eye. If when I look at you now, it looks like there's smoke in the room.
Really?
Yeah, so I can't see you, and especially because of the bright light coming out from there. But anyway, I don't have my driver's license anymore, and those kind of things. So I don't have 20/20 vision as well. But the point is, you go completely blind
Over time.
over time. So in our teens, while we got diagnosed, it's also not very prevalent. So not many people have this. But is you go night blind in your teens. But everything else is fine. So I'm not wearing glasses because of the choroideremia. My glasses is like you wearing glasses.
Okay.
Glasses is your lens and your
So what helps it?
nothing.
Nothing.
There's nothing. Well, I mean, you can eat healthy.
Yes. But there's no.
You can't stop it.
I actually thought that glasses help.
No. So the glasses help for me.
For you, like I would wear glasses. Yeah.
No. So this is the retina at the back of your eye receiving the light. The glasses is your cornea and your lens in your eye. So that's the front. So so glasses is just I want to say people can have choroideremia and not wear glasses. It's got nothing to do with that.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's actually the thing receiving the light at the back that dies off.
So that would be another level of an adversity that you needed to accept. So how did you kind of?
So yeah, no. So for me, I mean, when we were diagnosed, I think God gave me the gift of just, taking things in my stride and just having blind faith, I almost want to say. But when I was diagnosed with choroideremia, for me it was I saw it as a superpower, because after the day that I heard I will go blind completely one day, it almost gave me extra motivation to use my eyes while I have them.
Sure.
So for me, it's a motivator.
Yeah.
Where for others, it would be,
That's it.
gets them down.
Yes.
I'm going blind. This is so bad.
Yes.
And I mean, up to today, still even, like I feel it's still a motivator today, but it definitely is now becoming, I mean, in the last 10 years, it's a lot more reality because it affects me. And I mean, we can get into a conversation of how it affects me now, and how it already affected me 5 years ago when I won the gold medal, 10 years ago when I was already struggling in any sport that I can wander around.
Yeah.
But it now in the last 2-3 years is really, I feel like a blind person. Yeah, you know, I'm really struggling recognizing people. And that's the problem now where people, I carry on and they might think, but I don't greet them properly. But then it's just, I didn't realize I just went past a person that I know.
Wow.
I won't recognize you
Yeah.
unless I recognize your voice or I look at you. I know this is you.
This is,
I
yeah.
can't even see my son wears a white shirt or something weird on the rugby field just so that I know over there he goes. I don't know that's my son running there. They all look the same. But what I'm just trying to say is that as it
Yeah, at that
degenerates,
right.
it gets worse.
And it becomes more of a reality.
Yes. But every day I wake up since I was diagnosed, I open my eyes and I still see, and you can still come right with what you have. For me, it's okay, I have to use my eyes while I have them kind of thing. And that's why I call it a superpower, because it's where others would just on a tough day be down or whatever, I would just always remind myself that, hey, I have to use what I have while I have it. And that's a superpower. That's a motivator.
Please don't be quick on that. I want to be slow on that. Is that where the super feet comes from?
Not at all.
Comes up. Okay. Anyway, for me, it sounds like actually probably, but maybe it was named later. But you calling that a superpower? I spoke about purpose and desire and how it pushes through and can never be stopped by any adversity. So in the book Think and Grow Rich, we speak about every adversity or failure has in it a seed of a greater or equal or greater benefit. So every adversity holds in it a seed of an equal or greater benefit. Here you are diagnosed with this big word that I can't pronounce still. I know what it means, but I'm still with this diagnosis, they've got big words. I don't know whether it's deliberate or what. So you are diagnosed with that and you're still in your teenage years, and you then take a stand and you say, I've got to use my eyes while I still can. And you're saying every day you wake up and you say, I still have the eyesight, I've got to use it while I still have it. Now, that for me is the beginning of a super bit.
No, for sure.
And it's the supernatural, knowing that God also gave you the ability to, you could have looked, like you said, you could have looked at this and given up. Going back to saying that you knew God is going to use you through sport, and sport needs, well, I guess there are very small exceptions, but to be sport, you need to see. You need your eyes to actually get to that, to be that vessel as you've seen it.
The scary thing is, if you know how much I see now, the ophthalmologist thinks it's a miracle that I can ride a bike on my own. But you say you have to be able to see to get to the finish with that thing. Sometimes you don't need to see to see.
And so I was saying it's probably an exception because I'm thinking I'm just talking, I don't even have the stats of what I'm talking about.
No, but you are right. But what I'm just trying to say is,
but it's all a superpower there.
No, but it's amazing that I do take risk. Right now, I take a lot of risk, and I'm a father. And there's a point where I'm going to have to call it, and I'm really close, but it could be 2 years or it could be tomorrow. This is a very long conversation, what I'm trying to say here.
Go for it.
Which we'll get into. Because now I'm like losing track of what I want to take, what I actually wanted to say.
Okay, I can go back. Let me go back and say, so at the time of diagnosis, then you then have, that's right.
So now the thing for me is also, I just want to take us a step back there also and remind people that I then did give my heart or really felt the Holy Spirit for the first time. Wow. And I was reborn when I was, it was on this camp from our church that I went to in 1994 when I was 14 years old. And I know exactly it was September 1994 because we had to go get these rocks at nighttime and then write I wrote the date on there for a different purpose.
Yeah.
But it was then that night that I gave my heart to God. That I know, you know.
That's
So I know the month.
Yeah.
The day is on. I don't know the exact day, but it's September 1994 when I was 14 years old. But what I'm trying to say, so we were diagnosed with this disease when I was 17, 3 years late.
3 years later. After you.
So you have to also, I mean, for me, I can't say it, but for me, it's all intertwined. But my religion obviously plays a big part in how I'm wired.
Yes.
And why I took that so
Yes.
easily and why it is a superpower.
Yeah.
But that's where supernatural comes in. But
Yes.
Superman is my favorite superhero. Okay, it's Spider-Man. But so Super Pete, there's a story behind that, but that's after that where that Super Pete nickname comes from.
Okay.
But I mean, superpower, I saw it as superpower because for me, Superman, superpowers, I believed in supernatural.
Natural power of
But
God.
within God's
Yeah,
miracles.
natural.
So, but that's why I'm saying it's all intertwined.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
and that's where the superpower comes from. But I mean, I have to say, I think if my faith wasn't what it was,
Then
then I mean, maybe it would have been different.
maybe it would have devastated you, like you're saying. Like you
Yes.
see people just lose
Yes,
thought
you know.
inside.
And I mean, and that's why, look, it's just important for me to bring God into it because at that point, it's not, I prayed for a medal and I was 6, but it's just like I want God to give me something. At that point, I'm now not even mature with faith, but I mean, I was a lot more mature in my faith.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think.
I mean, you were diagnosed when you were 17, you say, right? And you accepted God in your life at the age of 40.
Like officially.
Yeah, officially. Yes, yes. I mean, I accepted God in my life when I was 17. Officially, I didn't have any prior official because we.
No, I say I'm
We
with
didn't
official now.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like there's a piece of paper. I mean like
When you were conscious and
I can
intentional
know
about
where
it.
it feels God
Yes,
in my life.
yes, yes. So with you, I think it comes with the upbringing in a church, in a Christian. I didn't have that. Like the upbringing didn't have church as part of the thing. But when I started going to church after a year of attending, then at the age of 17, I accepted that in my teenagers, and that's even up to today. That's what makes the world, the world's difference of who, how, what, and when I am, right? So I kind of can relate having that deep relationship with God in your teenage years when there's a whole lot of decisions that you make, and most of them we get to make wrong. But when God is there, we just get a different steer. And so I think it moves me to say, to hear you say that the receiving the bad news or the diagnosis, when it comes in and it finds that there's so much of the presence of God within you, then how it's viewed, how you receive it is different. And I mean, we all face challenges every day, and we will continue to do so. But the difference is, what does it mean to you? And it is the foundation of a relationship with God that makes all the difference. If you use it, of course, because even then you might have it and decide not to use it, but you decided to use it. And from what you're saying, it's been a bigger part of your life, even up to now. So
Absolutely. And I mean, you spoke about that sometimes that adversity plants a seed or more than one seed of
yes, of the benefit, yeah.
or benefit actually. And I mean, I think this is my big thing, and obviously we'll get into my accident and those kind of things as well. But what is the amazing thing for me is people see pain as a bad thing, but in life, it's anything is really how you perceive it. But and you could turn it into something great,
Yes.
and into a benefit.
Yes.
And you can make a choice. But honestly, for me, it's you can philosophize about it as well. But I just feel if everything was perfect in life, because perfect means everything is perfect. What are we doing for? then life should just stop right here. So life would be so not colorful if everything was perfect. So for me, the thing is, pain is, okay, and I make it sound like it's fun, but pain is actually your friend. Going through transformations is your friend. Adversity is actually your friend, because that's what shapes you, shows your character, builds you. Those are the things you do. Wow. Trials, that's the journey. You know,
Reminding me of a scripture that says, "Count it all joy when you're faced with challenges and pains and all of that." And joy is different from happiness, right?
yes, and pain remains a earthly thing. It That's the thing. It's you know, you can, what's that thing about, people can hurt you, they can break your body, they can do anything to you, but they cannot touch your
spirit, yeah.
They cannot touch your spirit.
Mm.
The only person that can touch that is you and God.
Yeah. If you decide that, then is, yeah.
So pain can come, but it can't. Pain, you can change with it. Pain, sure, but pain on your body can.
You feel it.
You feel it, and it can make you depressed, because it is physically, it's there.
Yes.
But it's only if you allow it.
Wow.
You can still achieve this. But again, this is now where different people and different, that's where the mental aspect of all these things comes.
Yes.
So it's but that's where I want to say, you pause the scene, it can actually be turned into your brain.
But it's still a choice, right?
It's a choice. Yeah.
I mean, pain is a friend. Adversity is a friend. Life will be boring. Why are we living if there's no pain? I don't know how.
but the point is, I'm making it sound so easy. It doesn't mean, oh, boom, it's just,
No, absolutely.
it's not fun.
What
Without it, life, it's if everything is perfect, like I say, what are we striving for? We are striving for perfect, but I hope I never reach perfect, because then life is over.
Wow.
That's my
We get
point.
perfected in Him when we are with.
That's why there can never ever be perfection.
Hmm.
That's the only perfection is when I'm going to heaven.
Oof.
God is perfection. That's the point. So, and that's
Wow.
for me.
I am taking that pain is my friend. Adversity is my friend. And if everything is perfect, why then are we living? So, wow.
No, but like I say, that's I say this. People talk about we fall and we stand up again, but everybody has fallen, and it's how you get up again.
Yeah. It's the fact that you
the fall can be seen as the pain, can be seen as the adversity. It's all the same thing.
Yeah.
But it's how you deal with it.
Yeah.
That builds and makes you. And it shapes your life.
Yeah.
And where your purpose lies.
That
is the climb.
You said so many powerful transformational things that gets me even to say, is that how I really look at life? Or, when pain hits me, do I like stand back and ask myself, but why, and all of that? But if our attitude then changes and say, we're going to face it, and when it comes, let's decide how we take it in, I mean, there's that, and it's all about how our thoughts shaped. What is it that we think about? When I did the introduction, I said, what makes the great is what happens when nobody's watching. When you have to wake up with yourself, in yourself, thinking and deciding, this is what I am going to take. This is what I'm not going to take. This is how I'm going to think, and this is how I'm going to face this thing. So, and for me, that's a transformational thing. That's one way of fighting a mental challenge, a mental battle that is facing a whole lot of us now and again, and it comes and it will never stop. But what will stop it is how we interpret it. That's what you say. How we react to the pain that is facing us. So obviously at that age, you probably started running even more and doing more of the triathlons and more, even with that diagnosis.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, when you kind of say, it didn't change my dream.
It
And
did
that
not
was-
change. It brings me back to the purpose that
just
my
made
thought.
it
Yeah.
just gave it more power. The point is, it's like it just gave me this. I could. That's why I say superpower. But it just made it like more. I better do it now. You know, it's more the realization of every day
Is an important.
is an important day, and live it now. You know. So I mean, now today I talk about just live it.
Yes.
You know, my favorite sayings that's authentic to me is when a bad thing happens, it's opportunity to be great. You know, which is how we're talking about adversity.
Okay, now I want that repeated again. When a
I
bad
say,
things
I say, when a bad thing happens, it's an opportunity to be great. God created my life. I must just go out and just live. So
Ooh,
that's, you know, for me, that's the core of who I am, essentially, you know. But at the same time, this is where you talk about what makes the great great.
yes.
I spoke about in the beginning, I said, "Yeah, okay, I'm so great, I got a gold medal." I'm not so great. Everybody's so great. So I always say everybody has the power to inspire, but it starts within yourself. You know,
Wow.
God created your life, you must go and do it. Now, the key thing is that I think people don't realize the small things we do
Yes.
that can change a person's life.
Yes.
And my other favorite saying is, touch into all this whole superpower thing is, you don't need to be a superhero to inspire. You can be a normal person and with a smile.
With a smile.
And where I go with that is, you can go to the shops
Yeah.
at the end of the day. Everybody might, it's like the long day, you're tired, and you stand at that till and you watch people being annoyed, or now the person working on the at the till takes a little bit long and they like very annoyed, and you know,
And you
want
want
to
by the
disrespectful.
time you get there, you
And then I get there and I just smile at this person and I'm calm or whatever. A simple smile. That person could be so hurtful of eating this still today and that working with all this
yes.
people who's just so, what's the word now?
Grateful and
Ungrateful.
customers.
Yeah, and I might have
Customers.
said bad, grumpy customer,
Yes.
whatever. And she might be at the verge of committing suicide.
Right.
And yeah, a person comes and you're just nice and you smile. And in that moment, that person realizes, but there's good people in this world. And you
Wow.
change that person's day. Maybe you change the week, maybe you change their life. What I'm trying to say is the power of a stupid gesture like a smile or being nice to people
Yeah.
can change a person's day. Well, I'd have to win a gold there. But that's where I'm saying you don't have to be a superhero. You can be a normal person, still inspire, and that can inspire somebody.
Wow.
So, and all I'm saying is, and that's why I say everybody has that thought. So,
I'd like you to repeat that part because I want to close off with that. When I say, I bring back the question, what makes the great great? You said, I can't remember, I'm not going to be able to put it, but you'll be able to repeat it. You said, painful moments makes us great. You said, say that again. It's like,
we should rewind this.
we should, but
No.
we're not the one playing.
So, well, the point is, it's I always say when a bad thing happens.
Yes, when a bad thing happens.
Yeah. So I mean, when a bad thing happens, it's opportunity to be good.
To be great. So what makes the great great is when a bad thing happens is an opportunity
To be great.
to be great.
And I mean, with that, I always talk about you're one mind shift away from the solution to any problem. And all of these things I'm saying, it comes down to that they all intertwine.
Yes.
Because when a bad thing happens, you have to make that one mind shift. But it's just making that mind shift. It's that choice that you make.
Yes.
Instead of ranting or looking at the negative side,
Yes.
you make the choice to look at, how can I make that door closed, but there's the open door. How can I make this work?
Yeah.
How can I make something positive out? How can I make something great out? How can I turn the bad situation to a great situation.
Mm.
But you need to make that mind shift first in your mind to choose
Yes.
how you're going to make it.
When
great.
that bad thing happens.
Look at what you can use,
Yeah.
and then it can turn into something great. And to realize that something great isn't the gold medal. Something great could be a stupid thing as a smile,
Smile.
or being nice to people.
Yes. That opportunity to be
small
great.
things sometimes.
Wow.
But a bunch of small things can accumulate into some massive thing.
And that's what makes greatness.
Exactly.
Wow. And I think at that time, that age of 17 or so, that was then the beginning of greatness showing up. Not that it wasn't there.
Yeah, but
Because-
already it's just
because that-
a bigger defining adversity kind of moment.
Because a bad thing happened
And a choice you make.
and you are told there's no cure and you are told it's gonna deteriorate over time, but you then use that as an opportunity to be great. You're like, I'm gonna use my eyesight while I can, as if it's the last time I can use it.
And I mean, with all that being said, at the same time also believing that God can heal and do miracles
Exactly.
or change. And if I say up till today, there's still no cure, but they're damn close to something. But it might be too late for me. But at the same time, why do you still believe anything is possible for God?
God gives you
But you have to live every day.
Exactly.
There's no tomorrow, you know.
Wow.
So
For today, thank you so much, Pieter. What makes the great great? When bad things happen, it's an opportunity to make a mind shift and make a choice and be great. That's what makes the great great. We will continue with this conversation. I have so much to take in today. In fact, I'm going to re-listen to this and write all the quotes that you gave us today because I want to bring them in our next conversation. And I want to.
that's the best of me now. So now it's going to be all downhill from here.
No. The reason why I'm going to hold on to them is I will bring them because they are better than
they'll come
most.
through everywhere, basically.
You have given us the best defining moments. You've given us everything else. I think as we continue with the conversations, this foundation now will tell us how and why they're pressing on, they're pushing on, they're wanting to live more, they're wanting to inspire more with what you have, who you are, and everything that is allowing you or limiting you, but you still press on to inspire. And that for me is what makes the great great. You've given us so much. I actually I have so much. I really want to go and write it down and just sit in it until we have our next conversation. So that is it for today in this conversation with greatness. I am sure in your own way, in your own season, there's a lot that you are taking in. Before I close out, I just want to hear from you, Pieter, if you've got any closing words for this session, for this first conversation that we've had, over and above all the quotes that you have given us, but any closing words that,
That's
looking at that part of the life that we've gone up to high school, 17 years, that diagnosis, and just anything that comes to mind.
Yeah, look, I think for me, the key thing is just, I've said it now before, but the focus is so on sport and so on, but it's the word is it's holistic, and that academics is important, that the balance is important, but that you don't have to do sport, you don't have to do that good or that good. You need the basic tools in life to be able to live life and make those purposes. So, because I'm always so scared that kids just focus on the sports, and forget about the academics.
Yeah.
So
No, they definitely that is.
But in terms of closing words, I mean, for me, those are the pillars of my life, to be honest. But behind all of it, I just feel that faith remains a backbone. Of all of this, and I honestly feel that a lot of these things, morals, everything, definitely trickles from my faith, and that's the basis of.
God is the foundation.
And as much as what makes the great great, I love being great is that it's great that others see me as great, but I'm actually just a normal person, just living life.
A normal person living life directed by God, loving God, pulling God in everything that He is. And that is the biggest greatness that we can ever be, because He has known us before the foundation, before He formed us, He knew us. And as I said, the blessing with you is that knowing was very clear right from the beginning. And that's why giving up is never an option. It's that wanting that never wants to die, that burning desire that's driving you. And I'm grateful for what you shared with us today. I'm looking forward to much more. And I am definitely going to have to write these quotes down. There's quite a few. I'm writing them down for myself as well, to really to embody them and be inspired by them, and to start looking into my life and say, what are the gaps? Can I use what you said today to actually get uplifted on my side? And today we have come to the end of this conversation, and there is no doubt that the greatness and inspiration and just you being you is already doing the work. And I'm grateful, and I thank you, and I thank God in your life, and thank God for you. And we have come to closing this session in this conversation with greatness. Thank you very much, Pieter.